Welcome to ISE 2023 in beautiful Barcelona. This is Rich Fregosa, Uncle Richie for AVNation.tv. This is my fourth day on the show floor. And the best part is I get to be with one of my favorite vendors, RGB Spectrum, who ironically enough is about 15 minutes from my house. And so I've flown 6,000 miles to meet with Ken Pefkaros, who is the Director of Sales for Europe. Ken, it's good to see you.
It is a pleasure to see you as well. And thank you for coming to our booth, and thank you for having this interview with me. And I'd be whatever questions or whatever I can answer to you or to anything that to your viewers. Please let's talk.
We got it. We've got a couple of minutes to talk. So, interestingly enough, let's start with you were here for the summer show.
Correct.
In 22 was the summer show.
Correct.
It was a delayed show, and when the show opened up, a lot of the concerns were: is this thing going to take off or not? Fortunately, pleasant surprise, we saw the numbers working their way up. Fast forward to January, a little chillier, but it feels like it's back. It feels like the show has returned. The attendance, this is day 4. Some of the early attendance numbers that have come out have been really, really good.
Exactly.
Tell me some of your impressions of the show.
So you're absolutely right. And what, as obviously everybody has seen with COVID, we were all, not just with ISE, but with Infocom and with other trade shows or events that we've done, it was always how is it going to be? How is it going to progress? This has been phenomenal. The first few days of the show were absolutely impressive, and they were very necessary for us to be on the ground, be here, and be in person, meeting with our customers, meeting with new customers. So yeah, I think that this is great. I'm glad that ISE is back. It is an extremely important show because there's nothing else like this that exists for this industry.
Bringing it together, absolutely. So we had a chance to chat before we were recording this interview, and it's interesting. There's a question that I've been asking, but it also dovetails into one of the reasons why you're here in Europe. So I'm going to break this back. So this is a technology show. There's a whole lot of reason to be able to go over the bits and bytes of everything. But when we were apart for so long, one of the remembrances that we have when we got back together is that all of these companies were still based on people who love what they do. And I've always had the saying that you never deliberately find yourself in this market.
Correct.
There's always a story of how you got
Correct.
from where you were to where you are here. I've had a long-standing relationship with RGB Spectrum, going on 30 years. You've had a long-standing relationship. So I'm going to ask one question, which is actually going to tie in not only to you personally, but actually to your career here with RGB and RGB's reason for being here. So the question that I have is, how did you get to RGB in the first place, and how are you here in Europe now?
So in my previous life, in the 90s in San Francisco, I was a web developer. Actually, I started off doing graphic design at CD-ROMs when that existed. And obviously the recession happened, or the tech bust happened in 2000. And I was hired by RGB originally to be their web developer. What happened on my 20-year journey to where I am now was they kept giving me more and more and more opportunities to get out in the field. What I found was that I actually enjoyed meeting with people like yourself, meeting with customers, that I liked actually when I thought about being in my little cubicle doing my development work. I actually preferred to be out in the field talking to everybody because it gave me more intel. Just one little caveat, I remember one of the few times that when I was working as a developer, when they let me out of the house, so to speak, and they sent me to a project at Autodesk, it was very interesting to get the feedback about how the company that I was working for at the time essentially saw us and saw the product that we did. Now, flash forwarding to now, what I like is I do this for a living, where I'm out now and I'm basically essentially doing the same thing, but full-time, selling us as far as wanting to create relationships, wanting to expand the brand experience for RGB Spectrum, and then reintroducing us in Europe, and then at the same time, and obviously working with you as far as our relationship together. Sorry
and
about
so
that.
this marks and really kind of the highlight, which is this marks your return to Europe that coincides with RGB Spectrum's reemergence in Europe.
Exactly.
And your focus to the market. So talk a little bit about the market. You know, there was a bit of a hiatus that was not your fault at all. But now, from what we were talking about, there is a significant energy towards finding your way back into the market. I know that there's going to be some news coming up ahead that you can't talk about, but right now, let's talk about, I guess, the precursor to some fantastic news coming as to why you're back in the market.
So one of the things that RGB Spectrum prides itself on, and one of the reasons why I was given the opportunity to have this position, was obviously we make incredible technology, right? And we have a lot of programs that we're involved in all different vertical markets. The thing that we are trying to do and reestablish, obviously, after the hiatus, is the personal aspect of what we are to our partners, the media, and our customers. And that is the most important thing, because at the end of the day, you know, you can have the most incredible technology, but if you don't have the personality and you don't have the for lack of a better expression, the personability where you feel comfortable with the people that you're interacting with, that's where we're reestablishing ourselves to say, it's not just about the tech, it's about who we are as people, as a company, as a corporate culture.
Oh, fantastic. Well, there's tech. There's a ton of tech. Now, we could go ahead and focus on the tech at this point, but I think it speaks for itself. And I mean, again, RGB Spectrum is a name in the industry. They're known for the technology itself. It's day 4 of the show. So if we can't get people to the show rushing over to Barcelona, how's the best way to find out about RGB Spectrum, the technology, current and coming? I'm going to keep teasing that one.
Well,
how can they find you?
Obviously, our website. Obviously, contacting me personally, if it's for Europe, or contacting one of my other affiliate RSMs that are based all over the world. Because once again, RGB is not we are not a large company. We're not a Microsoft. We're not a Google. We're a smaller company, but we're everywhere. And the aspect is we're personable. So you can always talk to me. And then obviously my marketing director, Courtney Mushia, who unfortunately wasn't able to be here for other reasons, always be able to reach out to any of us.
Great. Website?
RGB.com.
Fantastic. All right. Well, if you want to find out more information about RGB Spectrum, you can find it on their website. If you want to find out more information about our coverage for ISE 2023 here in Barcelona, you can find it on our website at AVNation.tv. This is Rich Fregosa, Uncle Richie for AVNation.tv.